form of Joseph is Josephine, right? Okay, please welcome GM of Cruise Music Global and talent manager Josephine Bonso. Even then and now, did the technological innovations in music surprise you at the time?
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always an honor to get the chance to do something else on stage rather than singing and doing the bang, bang, bang. So it's always an opportunity to let people know that the artists are not just about entertaining people and singing. Some of us have, very, very, tight heads. So to your question, I would say it's an amazing time to be here and to still be active as an artist and get to enjoy what seemed like a dream some 22 years ago when I had just, emerged on the scene with my first album in 2004. So I, like you rightly said, come from the analog system. I come from when we used to record music and release music on tape cassettes and CDs. If there are any new creatives here, I don't think they even know what it means to have a song on a tape and then have it distributed through a certain system in the market, and then you sell single units of your material. And then sometimes if the difference here is that when the material goes bad, you can go and Yeah. You would have to find another, copy of that material, a hard copy, and then play it. So my first album. Charlie.
Yeah, we'll change your mic for you, Savini. Thank you.
My last experience with a microphone like that cost me big time. I don't know if you remember when we were doing the West Africa search for the best new act, and it was myself, Two-Face Idibia, a few other artists from different parts of Africa, and I think my mic was off, but it was on for the viewers at home. So while I was on stage doing mic, they could hear me. So those at home were like, "Can you sing already? Because we can hear you." Because I was doing it live with the instrumental in the background, I wanted to at least hear myself in the monitors on stage to know that I was live. So I dropped the mic on the floor and left. And apparently, they took some marks off my marks, and then I came in second. Yeah, for dropping the mic. So this brings me back.
Don't drop the mic.
So an analog best, that's how we function. But some of us were just about getting professional when the digital scene came. So we embraced it as the new era that we were supposed to jump on to be able to reach a broader and a wider audience at a goal, and then to be able to have your material timeless on the computer, on the internet, rather than it being a physical product that can gather dust and then eventually waste away. So I am a beneficiary of the current scene, and I saw it coming, and I am not shocked what's happening right now. An artist today can create and release within the next 24 hours and appeal to their fans that they've already been able to build organically based on how active they are on any app whatsoever that they choose to use, as compared to my days when you had to queue in the studio, record your music on a DAT, transfer it onto what do they call it, the glass copy of the CD, and then go make tapes. So the process with which we used to create, from creating the music to finally getting onto the market, compared to what's happening today is a golden age when I sit back and look, and I am happy to be still active on my feet to get to enjoy what's happening, because then I don't have to work as hard. I just have to work smart. Yeah.
Business, as we have learned over the years from the Jay-Z's of the world, as the top business. Why are you going into that?
Hello. Yes, my name is Benjamin. It's an honor to be here. BHC Music is the first platform which will channel out exclusive music. So basically, you have exclusive music only on our platform. You can't listen to it on any other streaming service. The reason why we chose to do this, because we heard the cry from the artists. A lot of artists churn out a lot of music and they make absolutely nothing. I can give you a perspective, something you see, you attest to it. When an artist hits 1 million streams, the artist only makes between $3,000 to $4,000. If you hit 1 billion streams, you make $400K. Who makes the rest of the money? How much do you pay for your studio time? How much do you pay producers? How much do you pay for travel? How much do you pay for your clothing? But BAC Music has decided to change this narrative, whereby we are paying the artists much more than they can ever dream of getting. So BAT Music is going to pay the artists 50 cents on the dollar per download. So in this case, when you stream 1 million on these other networks, you get 4K. When you download 1 million on BAT Music, the artist now gets $500,000. Because we believe that one hit song should be enough to retire you. Now the question is, how are we going to pay these artists this amount of money, right? From our investigation, a lot of research. I've been doing this for 13 years, but today is the first time that I'm speaking about it. Because now we've got it right. Because it's exclusive music, we are charging $1 per download. Taking it back to the analogs where Samini was talking about, where they used to sell CDs and cassettes. We are charging $1 for music that so much has gone into. And then we are giving the artist 50 cents on the dollar. It's exclusive music. It doesn't mean that the artist will not channel out music to the rest of the other platforms. But as time goes by, they will see that it makes much more sense to put music on the BAT Music platform than on other platforms. Other people tried it, like Jay-Z, Tidal, they had all these artists, but in our opinion, they were a little bit cocky. They felt like, it's for Jay-Z, we had Rihanna, we had Kanye, and the whole world is going to jump to us. It doesn't work like that. Because when they launched, there are different forms of demographics of people now. Jay-Z is our time. The 16, 17, 18, 19, they don't care about Jay-Z.
Lil Uzi Vert.
They have their own genres that they listen to. And Tidal did not hit these people. Secondly, BAT Music is not going to take any subscription fees. You have Apple Music, you have Spotify, you have Netflix, you have Amazon. Every month, a lot is coming out of your wallet. That's a lot. So what BAT Music is going to do is that it's going to be pay as you go. As simple as that.
That's interesting.
And we are going to hedge it as well. So in the US, it's $1 per track. In Nigeria, it's going to be 100 naira or 150 naira. In Ghana, it's going to be 5 cedis. In the UK, it's going to be £1. So we are going to hedge it so that everyone can afford it for the artists to get more. Because the artists are really suffering. Have you listened to Snoop Dogg? Have you listened to Kanye? They are struggling, literally. Artists only make money from shows and endorsements. Literally. That's where they make their money from. So that's why BAT Music has come up with this
Top promises of the world are seeing the world because of strategies you and your company have employed. What does it take to be an artist who's employed technology to cross over to the world?
I think we discussed this earlier today. I was saying to Bliss that in order to cross over, you need to be ready to be an actual artist. As Samini was describing his experience when he was early on, they recorded music in the studio, they did a couple shows, did a couple live performances or live appearances. It was that. Now things have elevated and changed dramatically. You need to be a social media creator, you need to be showing your life day-to-day vlogging, you need to be creating content. So in order to be an artist now, you have to do a little bit more than just be in the studio. You have to basically be a one-man band just churning out a load of stuff to do. That's how people grab onto you and want to follow you, want to follow your journey, and how you can cross over and be exported, like you mentioned.
Interesting. I'll come to Black Volta, and social life here in Ghana for a few years now. You've seen a lot of artists, and a lot of artists have jumped on your wings to cross over to the world. What did you do differently in terms of employing tech when you started the vlog Black Volta?
Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Tech in Ghana. It's amazing that we're able to fuse in entertainment and then tech on a national level. So thank you so much for that. So for your question, Black Volta is essentially building itself to become the #1 media and lifestyle and entertainment firm in Africa. So that's where we started from. Essentially what we wanted to do was to do a lot of storytelling in terms of entertainment and lifestyle in Africa. When growing up, all these celebrities, all these festivals, all these guys that we ascribe to are celebrities and are important because of what media showed us, traditional media. I use that term very loosely. The whole traditional media, new media thing, the dichotomy is a bit loose for me. I don't believe in traditional media, I don't believe in new media, I believe in media. Right?
Okay.
So when you start off, media was, things like sending out letters, the front on from, and then it went on to television, and then now it's just social media, right? So there won't be anything like traditional media or new media, or it's just media, it's just evolving. So what we wanted to do as Black Volta was to be able to give people in real time what was happening from an entertainment and lifestyle perspective within Africa. We've been doing it for the past 24 months, just off of a phone, right? Creating content and storytelling to make people understand that it's not really actually the medium that you actually communicate, you understand? But everything in this world is storytelling. Anything that you know right now is because of a story that someone has really told you. So what we are trying to do is to amplify Africa and Ghana in a way where people will go like, oh wow, this is super amazing. What we've been able to do is our platform currently has 80% diaspora following across all our major platforms. So imagine people sitting somewhere in Australia, in the Philippines, who want to know what's happening in Africa, what's Afrobeats, what's the African culture, what does it look like, you understand? We are the lens from Africa to the world. So ours is to storytell from these tech platforms by way of digital marketing, by way of content creation, by way of churning, by way of sponsored ads, and by way of podcasting, to be able to amplify what is happening on the continent to Africa. So that's Black Volta.
A round of applause for storytelling, guys. You have to become a digital creator as an artist today. Someone will say, at your big age, at your big age and your long career, how do you maintain relevance today in the light of the TikToks of the world?
Thank you very much. I think I started embracing whatever it is that's happening now from just when it came. Because when Twitter and other things came, I was just about 2-3 years into music, and I was just about 22. So to me, those were apps that people my age would play with. So anybody that was doing music with me at that time as a big artist would be like 35, 38, 40. I was too young for what I was doing. Anybody that had Linda at that time would expect me to be at least 30. But Linda came out when I was 22. So right then I was a kid, but I was among the big people when it came to what I did for a living. But when I came home, me and my friends would do Twitter. We would do.
Going to solve because we are from Africa. We know the African terrain. We know our purchasing power. We know people want to buy music. We know people want to pay for things. So the BAT platform is going to link with your mobile money. So you can actually pay for the music through your mobile money and other means as well. You can even pay for the music with your crypto as well. Because we are going to take Bitcoin for the music, because there's a lot of Bitcoin in circulation but there's little use of Bitcoin in terms of purchasing. So BAC Music will allow holders
Of this, covering, doing the analysis, looking at these numbers, have a platform that has grown incredibly well in the last 24 months. What insights can you give to Ghanaian creators about using technology to make a crossover to the world?
Lovely question. I think from where we sit, because we're also very, very data driven and we do a lot of analytics from a back end perspective, I think maybe I'll just leave you with these two insights to say that in Africa we have the youngest population in the world right now.
Okay.
400 million of us are below the ages of 25. 60% of our whole population in Africa is below the age of 25, right? Now the creator economy last year was valued at $3 billion.
Just clear your voice a moment, let's hear that clear.
$3 billion,
Okay.
right? The creator economy was valued at $3 billion. By 2030, it's going to $17 billion. Now, all these numbers that I'm mentioning, globally, we only make 3% of that in Africa. You understand? So there's a huge opportunity for Ghanaian and African creatives. Whatever thing that you're doing in the creative scene, whether you're an artist, whether you are doing photography, whatever that you are doing, just make sure and understand that media and tech run the world now. Media and tech and code run the world. So it's either you position yourself now or you get left behind. That's what I would do.
Interesting comments so far. I will give the audience an opportunity to ask a question to the...
For all of you, what's the biggest pain points you're facing right now in your respective fields?
What's the biggest?
Pain points you're facing right now in your respective fields.
Okay.
For me, I think you can go for this long. You get to a level where
I think one of our very, very hard pain points is human resource. There are not a lot of people who are, there's a bit of a stereotype when it comes to people working in entertainment, right? There's a big stereotype, right? So you see the people on the panel and the kind of information that they're churning out. So, so mine is, my pain point is that I want and wish a lot more intellectual, more like focused people to come into entertainment. You understand? The fact that you're working the corporate is fine. There's money and then there's opportunity in the creative space. So I need more people to come into the creative space and feel like we can make a career out of that.
For me, it's opportunities. So first and foremost, I'd like to say a big thank you to Tech in Ghana for giving me and all the other people the opportunity to, voice out what we are doing. And I feel that Ghanaians should warm up to give more opportunities. Because when I started the BAC Music 12 years ago, it took 2 weeks in Nigeria for me to get my breakthrough. 2 weeks. I didn't know the video, I didn't know Bobo, I didn't know all of them. They just gave me an opportunity.
So my pain point is similar to Joseph's. I need, people in the entertainment industry to take the business side of things a lot more seriously. I'm literally following on this point because there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of opportunities, but there's also business to be done. And when you're talking about the business side of things, people aren't interested. They just want the fun, they just want the advances, they want the money. But if we adapt to the business, then a lot of things can happen that make a lot of sense for everybody.
Tish Taylor, I'm the CEO of Amazon Games and Creative Ladies Entrepreneurship Club. So I guess the question I have is, all of you have raised really good independent perspectives and points to a room full of technology enthusiasts. So could each of you please tell us one key technological innovation that you think would just make your work much easier, or make the industry a bit better, so that we can inspire those who are thinking of how to enter the industry in a way that suits you best.
Interesting. A round of applause for that.
I think we have a lot going on already for us that we need to exploit, and overuse and rinse out. If I'm going to be sitting here trying to think of the next tech innovation, then that's me becoming one of you people. Yeah, one of you people that think and create these things, like how I think and create news, and then you move. So you guys are geniuses when it comes to creating these things. What I know is that for my field, apart from all the software that we have that makes it easier for us to record music today over hours than we used to do for days, apart from those softwares, there's also these apps that helps us market our music and it helps us reach the world at a snap of a finger. So for someone like me, I think I'll be sleeping if I don't take advantage of what we have already.
So for us, because we are in entertainment and media, I think one thing we've already started with the tech. So we are launching a Black Water card. So 12 months ago, we launched an access card which you could send to almost anywhere. And then Visa and a couple of great technology partners reached out and said they want to partner with you. 12 months down the line, we're about to launch one of the biggest entertainment and lifestyle cards in Africa, which can partner across both media to flights to locations to everything. So that's one innovative thing that we'll be able to partner from an entertainment and tech standpoint. But I think generally, because we work with a lot of musicians and artists and creatives, I think one of the big things is around monetization and transparency for artists and creatives moving forward. So anybody that's in tech that can help within there are not a lot of people supporting the entertainment industry when it comes to tech. They are always focused on SDG goals and all those things. So yes, I'm telling you. So these are some of the things that we employ all these investor funds and VCs to actually look at. So thank you.
Thank you. For us, I think that more infrastructure needs to be developed to make it easier for coders to code. As he rightfully said, the African continent has the largest youth population, but to learn, to pass, and to do stuff, right? But it's almost as though we have to leave the shores of Africa, travel outside, go and learn, and then come back. It's about time we actually invest in infrastructure so that we build. So many of you sitting here are young coders who would want to do crazy stuff, but you don't have the advancement, you don't have the technology, you don't have the infrastructure. So infrastructure for me is key, and you bridge a lot of gap. Thank you.
Okay, so I didn't actually say what I did. I am a talent manager, but I'm also a general manager at a music distribution company. And what would be amazing, what you asked, would be a Ghanaian or African-owned metric system. Mm-hmm. So we have access to Spotify for artists. We have something called Chartmetric. However, that provides information about global information. Now, if we've got information about how our listeners in Kumasi are listening, our listeners in Tamale are listening, we could do a lot more things and a lot more local things, but that doesn't exist yet. So something like that would be phenomenal.
Okay, that's true.
Yes, can I jump on that? So with the BHC Music app, every artist would now know on real time
who's listening in Kumasi.
Who's listening in Kumasi? Who's listening in Lagos? How much has been downloaded? How much has been paid? And you can now actually withdraw your royalties straight from your phone within 3 months, within 6 months, and within a year. Thank you.
Well, next year,
I'll give you the opportunity to listen to. Now, you have, this is the thing. You have so many artists in the United States who are not signed to top record labels, but they're making millions. Do you know why? They have a following, right? And the new age of listeners, music listeners, do not care about their names and the A-listers. Our younger brothers and sisters coming up, they don't care. Tory Lanez, his NFT album, 36 seconds, he sold 1 million copies. 36 seconds, he sold 1 million copies. Do you know why? Because the dynamics of things have changed. $1 today is not $1 10 years ago. McDonald's was what? $45 quid. Today McDonald's is what? £3.50 or whatever. So the value of the dollar is not as expensive as it used to be previously. So people give new artists the opportunity, and people are giving opportunities nowadays. The young ones are giving new artists opportunities. You just, as you rightfully said, you have to work. You have to put in the grind. You have to come up with new music, bangers. And there are a lot of bangers, a lot of Ghanaian artists who are not up there, but you listen to their music and it's nice. And one of the things that we are going to do as well is to now do something that has never happened before. So the artists who sign on the BAC Music platform to give us exclusive music, we are going to now sign them to music.
Okay.
They have 1.7 billion people waiting. And I tell you what, 2022, Afrobeat was streamed 11 billion times on Spotify. Do you understand do you understand the game?
He's giving a game. Thank you, Benjamin.
Can I ask a follow-up question from his answers?
Okay, right.
No, I'm just saying
right.
he's basing most of his answers on Afrobeats, but we are in a creative space where people do alternative music. Like not every artist.
Well, I bet you mean that in the form of an umbrella body. The Afrobeat is the umbrella to the music we make down here now.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that you see, in terms of reach, you understand? Because it's a platform that is African home. You understand? Okay. You see, the Spotify, the Boomplay, and all those things. Yeah. They are bridging the gap of reach. So it's not even about the monetization aspect that I was trying to stretch on. But my point is that how are you going to help this upcoming artist get that amount of reach? Because you have to even get the reach before I want to pay for your music. Your music has to be in my face.
There will be a lot of marketing and advertising platforms to push the BAT Music agenda. And as I mentioned previously, because we have top artists who are on the BAC Music platform, that alone now lures a lot of people onto the platform. So let's say, because of Davido, you came to BAT Music platform. After Davido, maybe let's say you're an artist called Kojo Mensah. After Davido, you see Kojo Mensah there, you'll be intrigued because of the caliber of who Davido is and the sort of music that he's channeled out for decades. It will intrigue you to listen to Kojo Mensah. And when you listen to Kojo Mensah, and Kojo Mensah's song is a
It's a blessing for you that discussion. Social media for partnering with Techno Ghana this